Hi y'all, and welcome to another Meta Monday with Mindful Michael. My name is Michael and this is your weekly astrology forecast and vibrational update. And I'm joining you on Monday, March 9th, 2020, and we are celebrating a full moon in Virgo happening today and the end of Mercury Retrograde. I got really excited. The end of Mercury Retrograde is happening tomorrow. If you've joined me for Meta Mondays on Instagram TV, one, how do you like the new setup? I think YouTube is a much better place and we're like growing and ever changing and new things are coming and welcome. Thanks for like tagging along. And two, if you have been following along, you know that we've been talking about this retrograde for a while and how the retrogrades this year are all about cultivating new levels of emotional intelligence. This particular retrograde is ending on a note with this Virgo full moon that's asking us to take this new emotional intelligence and apply it on ourselves and be a little bit more loving and really figuring out how to make some harder decisions and how to make them lightly. Ideally, we have a lot of new people here viewing Meta Monday, so I want to catch some of you up on what a retrograde is, who is Mercury, what is going on. So, now that it's all over, let's back it up. I would say that Mercury rules the medium between things. So when you're communicating with people, when you're sharing an idea, a thought, a feeling, an experience, that is a vibration that you're sending to somebody. And Mercury will decide kind of how that vibration gets a little like fuzzied up by the time it's received by the other person. So sometimes this kind of deviation in vibration helps us expand and forces us to become more finely tuned in how we communicate and how we relate to other people and to ourselves. What a retrograde physically is when Mercury and Earth, in terms of orbit, start to kind of catch up to each other. So in the night sky, it looks like Mercury is moving backwards, and that's what a retrograde is. So then what we have right now is we're hitting the end of the retrograde, which means Mercury is stopping this backwards motion. And then we're going to have it moving direct, which means it'll move forward. But we have something called a post-shadow phase, which means Mercury kind of has to catch back up to where she was, which that won't happen until about the end of March. The retrograde backwards was sort of pulling on our energy because we are moving from winter into spring. So there's this sort of end of hibernation, agitation in our dens that makes us want to move forward. We kind of see where we aren't nourished, where we're running out of our resources and we're not sure how we're going to get through what feels like kind of the last dredges of winter, right? I would say that pretty much for everyone on an emotional level, that tether kind of snapped, which looks like us getting into this place where our worry mind spun out so much that it kind of created a real vibrational knot for us and sent us in some cases quite a little bit of an emotional tailspin. And we needed to get to that feeling place because Mercury retrograde was pushing us to an edge. So that edge is all about clarity, because when you're right up to the edge of something and you can feel the pressure of life squeezing in on you, that's when what's good and what's not good gets real clear for you. That's when what sparks joy and what doesn't spark joy is real clear for you to be able to understand. And in a Mercury retrograde, it's your job to be able to feel that clarity inside the fog. So the other thing that happened is back in the real world, back in the external world of your experience, this pulling back energy, that tether didn't snap. In the professional world, yeah, there are setbacks, there's tension. That's part of the new season coming in. And so there is this energy of like, I kind of fell out. But in reality, as Mercury comes forward, you're going to see that in reality, emotionally, you kind of clean up your act, which lets you kind of withstand the tension, which lets you propel yourself forward. So what I do want to say is that anxiousness, that tension, that edge of clarity, all of that sometimes can create some intense feelings. And those intense feelings are sometimes the energy that you need to be able to do some heavy lifting. If you've got some big things to clear out and clean up, maybe the universe is giving you some sleepless nights because you're supposed to be working. So the Virgo full moon, within this clarity of the edge, the Virgo full moon really shines a light on what pieces are nourishing us. So before we start to move forward, we get a chance to see which of the roots that we're sowing in are really starting to get some good nourishment from the soil. So you might start to see that some projects that you're working on are really beneficial, that new mediums that you're working in are starting to like bring some new opportunities. And it's up to you to really pay attention to where the roots maybe aren't so nourishing anymore. In the clarity of what's working and what's not working, you're gonna wanna also kind of make cuts and be a little bit intense, but that's the emotional extreme that you're at. I would say instead of being crisp and clear and cutting, see it as leaning your energy, prioritize things differently. Virgos love to sort and organize things. So look at it as making a list of the different roots in your life that you're getting things from, and really decide to prioritize the ones that bring you the good. And be okay with what happens in the fallout of not prioritizing the ones that don't. If you're into more intense change than that, please join me next week for the next Meta Monday, when we're going to talk about preparing for the equinox and Aries season, because this is a lot of potential energy starting to pick up right now, and it will get very kinetic real fast, and if you're ready for it, it'll be cute. So if you want to find out what the Virgo full moon and the end of Mercury retrograde has in store for your sign, follow me on Instagram at MindfulMichael. You can check out on my Taroscope Tuesday. Every Tuesday I post in my stories a sign-by-sign breakdown for what's going on that week. And I love it when you share it with your friends. And when you talk to me about it, if it relates, I love to hear about it. And you can also go visit my website, mindful-michael.com, where you can check out my services page and learn more about ways you can work with me and sign up for my newsletter. It comes out every full moon and new moon, and it's got some extra little goodies, horoscope-wise, content-wise, and lets you know about things going on with me. I hope you have a wonderful full moon. I hope that you get yourself sorted and that you really enjoy it. So, until next week, namaste, friends. Take care.